Greetings, friends! It's time to announce the latest update to War Thunder. Weapons of Victory. This is time to coincide with a great date. We will discuss the most interesting new additions in our overview. The game will receive 3 new historical locations based on important episodes from the Second World War: the Normandy landings, the heroic conflict in Hürtgen Forest, and the Battle for Berlin, shrouded in flames. The American line has acquired tank destroyers, but this time, Britain will get the most new aircraft. But we'll get to all that later. There are 2 new record setters in War Thunder: the fastest armored vehicle and the slowest. The widely loved M41 Walker Bulldog has passed the mantle of victory to a new hero. Meet the M18 Hellcat. It can reach speeds of up to 56 miles per hour on the road. Not bad at all. We'll also note, in passing, that the American research tree has received an SPG branch, and almost all of it is an example of the US approach to tank design. You'll see how much these vehicles differ from the German Stug, Jagdpanthers, and the Soviet Sus. The American tank destroyers have rotating turrets and exceptional mobility in most cases. But let's get back to our next record setter. The Mouse now has a new competitor in terms of speed. Another heavy turtle, the T-95, a powerful up-armored tank, heavily protected from all sides, but very slow. On the other hand, its sub-caliber round is capable of penetrating 12.25-inch or 311mm thick armor. The T-28 is a modification of this SPG without the second set of tracks and will provide more benefit in battles by increasing rewards and research points. This tank will be available for in-game Golden Eagles. And now to the meat of the update. For the first time, our game is getting a ground vehicle with a multiple rocket launcher system. The tank and MRLS Calliope, built on a Sherman chassis, will have 60 4.5-inch or 114mm rockets. After rocket attack, this vehicle can continue the battle as an ordinary tank using its 75mm weapon. The aircraft damage model has undergone significant change. Now, phenol-impregnated wood, duraluminum, percale, and all the other materials aircraft are made from will have different levels of fire resistance. The damage processing mechanic has become more complex. It's now easier to make a belly landing when your landing gear is out of order. Correctly performing an emergency landing will allow you to avoid the complete reconstruction of your aircraft. In addition, a bomber can now survive being rammed by a small fighter if the rammer doesn't damage important parts of its structure. Many new vehicles have arrived, over 40 in fact, of which 11 are unique vehicles introduced to the game especially in honor of Victory Day. We acquainted you with these vehicles in our news this spring, each Friday in the Weapon of Victory series. So, be sure to check out our research tree to see the new models and modifications with your own eyes. British aircraft fans should be particularly pleased. Many new models are now at your disposal, mainly representatives of sea-based aviation: Seafires, Spitfires, Sea Furies, and the new jet-powered attacker FB-1, a fighter bomber. While the pilots celebrate and inspect their future vehicles in the hangar, let's go on a little tour around some new combat locations. This is no resort, in spite of the sun, greenery, and sandy beaches. Right now, before your very eyes, unfolds one of the most momentous episodes of the Second World War: the Allied landings at Normandy. The landing parties rush through the coastal defenses and a barrage of fire. Battles rage in the air among the barrage balloons, and tanks trample down the live hedgerows around the farms. This single location includes 3 entirely different types of terrain: a sandy beach, peaceful provincial smallholdings, and an urban settlement. Another historical location takes us to Western Germany. The Allies have already successfully landed and are fighting their way through to the German capital. The operation lasts several months and becomes one of the most prolonged conflicts the U.S. Army ever participated in. This operation entered the annals of history as the Battle of Hurtgen Forest. The first thing to catch your eye is the views. The beech forest, the banks of the mountain rivers, the neat farmstead cottages, all as if taken from the canvases of some of the greatest artists. But we didn't come here to admire the view, did we? So, let's choose an aircraft or tank and charge into battle. Just the ground vehicle zone alone stretches over a 4x4 kilometer area. There are places for tank battles and places to storm ground targets. Berlin, 1945. When you find yourself in this vanquished city, it's easy to forget that you're in front of a computer screen. The atmosphere of war is conveyed so precisely that from the very first moment, you start to feel the heat and smoke of the fires, the soot and the smog. All around are the burnt-out remains of tanks and aircraft, traces of bombing and artillery fire. The entire zone is saturated with war. The center of the battle will be in the open square outside the Reichstag, which the opposing teams will fight for. These are far from all the new things we'd have liked to tell you about. Try out the new update of the game to see it all for yourself. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, visit the War Thunder site, the forum, and War Thunder Live. And of course, our social network pages on Twitter and Facebook. Good hunting!